Welcome to another broadcast of Brozan.
It's a brocast.
Broadcast.
Yay, Brozan. What do we do here?
We talk about the show Roseanne.
My name is Zach Zichter,
And I'm Jay Warren.
and welcome to hell. So today, what do we got? We got episode...
We have season 1, episode 8. Here's to good friends.
Aw, you're a good friend.
You are too, bud.
Here's to you.
Here's to you.
Your name's not Mrs. Robinson.
Are you feeling okay? Are you having a stroke right now?
Here's to you, Mrs. Robinson.
Oh,
It's a lyric.
but this is here's to good friends, not here's to Mrs. Robinson.
Oh, right, sure.
That's here's to you, Mrs. Robinson, isn't it? Is that what you said?
I did say that.
Okay.
That happened.
All right.
Those were words that came out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So for this episode, here's to good friends. The synopsis, according to Wikipedia, is it's up to Roseanne and Jackie to console a broken-hearted Crystal, which is one of their coworkers at their. I'm just gonna say Falcon Plastics.
You see, it's Wellman Plastics.
I know, but just for the sake of not knowing it, I'm just gonna because Brookings, we have what, Falcon Plastics in Brookings.
There's a Falcon Plastics here.
So their coworker at Falcon Plastics in Brookings is brokenhearted because her boyfriend broke up with her.
Yeah. They don't really say how long they were together.
Nope.
Um,
But it takes a night at the Lobo Lounge. Lobo. That sounds vaguely familiar. There used to be it was a club.
It was the Lodo, wasn't it?
The Lodo.
Yeah, it was where Main Street Pub is now, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It was 18 plus.
I never went in there.
Nor did I. But I remember that it existed.
There was when I was on the speech debate team when I first came to college,
Mm-hmm.
and there would always be girls there that would try to get me to go to the dance club, but I was
Oh, Jay, come dance with us.
yeah. And they were nice girls. I just had no interest in dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's debatable.
Is it?
No, you just said you were on the debate team, so they're like, oh, that's debatable. I
That's-
bet you're really good. Let's go to the Lodo.
I was more of on the oral interp side. So,
Right. Oh, okay. All right.
yeah.
So they spend the night at the Lobo in Lanford, and a miffed Jackie notices Booker with another woman. Oh, stuff.
And what's the big deal? Why is she mad? What did he tell her he was doing that?
Well, he said that he was with his mom. His mom was in town, and he couldn't go to an auto show that she
Yeah.
had tickets to.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
What have you ever been to an auto show? What did they do there? I mean, I know cars are involved, but
I've heard. Is it like an air show?
or like cars are just like driving around.
I don't know. I mean, is it or is it like a monster truck rally?
You know, there used to be that's my thought was like something like a monster car, but there also used to be this. Maybe they still have it. If anybody still lives in Pierre that's listening, you can tell us. There used to be something called the Blizzard Sale,
Okay.
and it'd be like in the beginning of February. They'd have all these like this car lot would have a bunch of like cars for sale, but it also had,
Cars.
but like cars would be like on display too, like cars you don't see very often.
Mm-hmm. Like
Williams,
old ones or
Williams and Ree would often be there signing autographs,
what?
and then they would do a show later that night in Pierre.
That had to draw at least 10 people.
Yep. I never talking to Ree of Williams and Ree
Mm-hmm.
for a while. Like,
Pretty cool.
yeah, he was nice. I was a little kid though, so you probably don't want to talk too much smack to me.
Who's talking smack?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I was annoying.
Oh, you're saying that's why he was nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them. For those who, if we somehow have people not from South Dakota or not in their 30s listening, Williams and Ree was a comedy team.
Mm-hmm. A musical comedy act,
Yeah, it was very ethnic humor, which was funny, I guess, back in the 80s.
as they dubbed themselves the Indian and the white guy.
Yeah. We actually know somebody. They had like 2 movies, and actually, the guy that directed Jay Van Duke is talking about making a 3rd movie.
What?
He told me about it last time he was here.
Well, the last one had aliens. Spoiler alert. Whoops.
Yeah, Totem Recall.
Totem Recall.
Mhm.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, they showed. They had like a poster in Jay's office, so that like they had a premiere at the
Yeah.
Brookings Cinema 5, which is now the Brookings Cinema 8.
I will always prefer the first one just because I grew up with it.
Yeah, that movie. I remember being really excited when that first one came on PBS. Like it would show up randomly. Be really cool. We used to have it on a VHS copy too for a while.
I have it on disc.
Yep.
On DVD. It's just a neat little. Is a chase. I guess it's a chase movie, but with a whole bunch of music videos intermixed.
And they don't really know that they're being chased.
Right.
It's more like being followed.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a scene when they play the song Running Bear.
Mm-hmm.
That scene was filmed at the hotel I work at.
Yeah.
It's remodeled. It's remodeled now,
Right.
so it's nothing like that. But
It was the Holiday Inn, then it was the Brookings Inn, and now it's the Days Inn.
yep,
In that swimming pool.
yep,
But it has been remodeled.
yeah. So that swimming pool is no longer there.
And the lady in that scene, because there's like a lady that...
White Dove,
Yeah, what?
Little White Dove.
Okay.
Was her name? Is that the one?
Yeah. I think that was Ginger. That was Jay's wife.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to Roseanne.
Yep. So now they're still in the. Looks like their factory must be really cold. They're always really bundled up.
Well, because the concept of this episode, there, like the package, what's holding it together is that there was a blizzard.
Yeah.
And that's why like the kids were at home. They had Dan had to babysit because they're worried about the schools closing in the morning or whatever.
Well, they ended up having to go to school that day.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember snow days at all? Very well.
Yeah, and I do remember also, like you said, they had to go. There were like a whole bunch of different places were canceled, and then Lanford was open. I felt like that happened a lot in Coleman.
Yeah.
Where every other place would be canceled for the day, and Coleman would be like, an hour late.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. Wonderful.
That would
really help.
There was one year, I think I was in 8th grade or 9th grade.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was in 9th grade, definitely 9th grade, because I was on the school paper.
Mm-hmm.
And like usually a school will add in a bunch of days, just in case if they have snow days.
Right.
But our school didn't do that, so we had to make up a ton of days. We were going to schools on Saturdays, and we didn't get out of school till like June 10th or something like that.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
We had a ton of snow days that year.
What did your paper report on it? What position did they take?
Oh, we didn't report on that. I just remember the journalism. We were talking about in class, and the journalism teacher explained that we didn't have those extra days built in, but we don't think we ever reported on it.
So you're on a debate team, but you didn't debate.
I debated when I was in high school. I was on the debate team. I debated my first 2 years.
But you didn't go to the Lodo.
I didn't go to the Lodo, but that was in college.
Oh, that was in college. You were in the debate team in college?
Yeah.
I missed that bit.
Yeah, for my first semester.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I wish I would have stuck with it, but it just wasn't the same.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of high school and what you were involved in, Darlene is supposed to be doing a book report on Betty Ross.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And that's the lady that developed the flag.
She sewed together the first flag. I don't know if she designed it, but she sewed it together.
Okay. So did you talk to me about your book reports? Were they good? Were they booky? Were they reporty?
I always got good grades on them.
Mm-hmm.
I liked to read when I was a kid. I don't really get really into writing books.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a nonfiction guy. I read a lot of articles every day.
Sure.
I just don't really enjoy reading novels, I guess.
For my part, I didn't like book reports. I just hated reading on someone else's time. Like, I would read what I wanted to read when I wanted to read it. But if there was something, as soon as it was like, you need to read it right now, this time by next week, Tuesday or whatever, I just didn't want to. And I had so I always struggle with some of the book reports because I kind of have to fake it.
Yeah.
But I had a classmate who also had trouble because she didn't read at all. But in this one particular instance, we could pick the book that we could actually pick the book, and I did fine. I already had mine done, but she couldn't figure out what book to pick, and she didn't know what to report. And it was the day of. It was coming up next period. We were in a study hall, so me and another buddy of mine, we took a book off the shelf in the back of the class and said, "Okay, what's this one? It's titled Ransom." Okay, and we made up a plot for her. We dictated what she should write for her book report, and it involved scenes from Jurassic Park, and like Terminator 2. And other like just movies of that time. Mm-hmm. She got an A.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's kind of a bummer considering that it wasn't really part of the book. But
what grade were you in?
Oh, I suppose 8th grade.
Okay,
something like that.
That's funny.
Yeah. That's my experience with book reports.
So what were you involved in when you were in high school?
Wasn't involved in much, just football, play, Orland Terp,
Mm-hmm.
just FFA for a little bit.
I auditioned for a musical when I was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing Grease, and I got the role of Eugene. And I was also involved in Ossia the Mind.
Mm-hmm.
And like the day that the play would be going on was also this day of state tournament for OM, so I had to drop out of the play.
Oh,
And the drama teacher held it against me. She wouldn't, for the next 4 years, she wouldn't cast me for anything.
if you said you had a beautiful OM meeting, would you hold it against? Oh, wait, what?
What?
I'm just holding it against. Never mind. So, moving from school
Mm-hmm.
to the scene that we're in now, we're looking at Crystal being consoled by Roseanne and Jackie in a bar,
Mm-hmm.
probably the Lanford bar. What? Oh, it's the Lobo.
Yeah, not the Lodo. The Lobo.
Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
Lobo is what it's called.
Yes, that's correct.
And let's take a second to talk about style for a while, because Crystal has an amazing sweater vest.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a pinkish magenta sweater vest. She really looks like she could be Rick Santorum's wife. Obviously, there's a time dilation problem that would have to occur, because I'm sure she's. Well, I don't know. Maybe she is Rick Santorum's age. You never know.
She's probably in her, probably in her
60s.
late
late
50s,
50s.
60s, yeah.
Yeah, so it might work.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could do better.
I personally, okay, I personally think that Jackie's sweater is kind of neat.
I think that sweater would work now.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I can't really describe it, but is that a knit sweater? What?
I guess I don't know. Ladies out there listening, describe that sweater for us. What would you call it?
Yeah, tell us what it is and why you think it's either, it would work now or it wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm. So Crystal's drinking a pink squirrel, and I got curious because I was like, the bartender in me is like, well, what's a pink squirrel? And according to this site, the pink squirrel is a creamy pink cocktail with a tempting flavor of almond and chocolate. It is fun, it is cute, but it's not as popular as it once was. It was made in the early 1940s. After the 70s, it kind of lost its charm, it says. So
Why?
I don't know. She's kind of dating, like,
This is dating her.
yeah, well, and it's also kind of staying with the theme because she starts talking about how much she misses high school. But what's in it is 3/4 ounce of creme de nayao, some weird word, 3/4 ounce white creme de cacao, and 1.5 ounces of heavy cream. So I don't even, like, they say that you can barely ever find that first ingredient, creme de nayao. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
It looks like it must be French.
And so, is there alcohol in all those things?
Yep.
Okay.
Except for the heavy cream, of course.
Mhm.
But do you ever? She's like talking to Roseanne about how much she misses high school. And
Yeah.
we were talking about high school. Is there anything like I don't really ever wish to go back to high school. Not that it wasn't fun, but
Right. Your question was how do I feel about that? Yeah. High school was weird. I think I got along with everybody, but I was in a different place at that time. I didn't really socialize outside of school, so school was fun for me because it got me away from the farm and doing chores and whatnot. And maybe that's. I wonder if I would even have done as well had I, been more social.
yeah.
But I didn't. I liked school because it was better than the alternative, which would be being at home.
So when you guys did have snow days, is that what you had to do? Was just work on stuff on the farm, or did your dad let you stay inside?
Sometimes, if it was really bad. But the thing is if we had a snow day, well, we got to clear the snow off, so we'd have to get the tractor out. We'd have to move the snow. So it would really mean just more work, and it would make chores take longer. Or maybe there was a feeder. I know this is not interesting for people who don't care about animals, but maybe there was a feeder that had a lid open and then snow got in. You have to get that out so it didn't get wet, and just lots of extra tasks that wouldn't necessarily be there if it wasn't for the storm.
One of the snow days I remember best is like they called off school like right before we were gonna leave the house, and my dad's like, "Well, don't have to worry about going to school. They called it off today." And then we went and had breakfast at the Millstone, which was a restaurant in Spearfish.
You like the Millstone?
I do. The one in Spearfish is a bit different than the one in Aberdeen.
Sure.
Things are just a little bit better, but the fried chicken especially is better at the one in Spearfish.
Okay. I'm not saying that it's not.
Did you ever? So when you lived in Aberdeen, did you guys ever go to the Millstone and eat when I wasn't there, or was that just a thing when I came to town?
I think it was just a thing when you came to town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like plus we ate there a lot, my dad and I. And he really liked it and still does. There's one in you live in Rapid now. There's one in Rapid.
So speaking of dads, in this scene right now, we are kind of getting the other side of what's happening. We were in the bar looking at Roseanne, Crystal, and Jackie, but now we're in the living room, and Dan is watching football with the kids, but none of the kids are actually supposed to be in there because Becky is supposed to be doing the dishes, DJ is supposed to be in bed, and Darlene is supposed to be doing her book report.
Yeah.
But all of them, as dads tend to do, dads like to be the fun one.
Mm-hmm.
He loves sports, and all the kids are, having fun.
It's the only time you ever really see Becky get engaged in sports.
Oh, really?
She doesn't seem to really care for the most part, but maybe it's like being part of the group experience.
Sure.
Darlene's always really into sports.
Right, because she plays baseball and other things, and you said basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now we're back at the bar, at the Lobo, and the first shot was it pulled back from Booker, and because Booker came in, and they saw him come in, which I don't know. We mentioned that in the synopsis, but Booker's supposed to be with his mom, but is clearly with another woman.
Mm-hmm.
He lied to Jackie.
No.
But can you blame him with that sweater? That's just a nice sweater.
And now she's pretending to be his wife.
Mm-hmm. Just to get the other lady out of there as a payback for him lying. So let's play the what if game.
Okay.
You're in a bar, and maybe you're either hitting on a girl. Maybe you don't hit on girls, but you're talking to a girl. Maybe she's interested. What if another girl that you know came up and tried to pretend that you were a thing, or she was your wife, or she was your girlfriend, and just to mess with you? How would you feel about that?
It depends on how well I was hitting off the girl I was talking to and how much I liked her.
Mm-hmm.
I could see there's girls I know I could see doing that to me. I don't know. You're actually married, so I don't know how to put the scenario to you.
Right, because I would never be in that situation.
Yeah. What if you were out with your actual wife and some lady came up pretending that she was also your wife?
Well, that situation doesn't translate because my wife. Well, okay, I could see where it would feel weird. Let's say that my wife and I are out, and then a friend of mine that my wife doesn't know, that's female, came up to me and pretended as if we had some sort of relationship that wasn't actually there. I think that would be maybe frustrating at first, but I think my wife would believe me because I'm a very trustworthy person.
You think so?
Yes, is the answer that you answer that you want to hear.
I've had ex-girlfriends embarrass me at the bar before.
Really?
Yeah, there was one time, and I was sitting with a girl that was a friend, and we were really good friends.
The best friends. Tremendous friend.
We hung out a lot. She was a lesbian, so there was nothing going to happen between us. But anyway, one of my ex-girlfriends saw me sitting with her at a booth at the bar, and thought that there was something going on. And I had broken up with her maybe a couple weeks before, and she came and sat with us and just chewed out this girl, told her that I'm gonna forget about her and I'm gonna leave her, and that's what I do. I just forget about people and give up on people. And it was really friggin' awkward. One of those things where you don't even know what to say.
Yeah, and especially it would be even more awkward if it was a person that you maybe could have had a chance with or wanted to get to know.
And the girl that she was chewing out didn't even know what to say. She's just she's like, well, I don't think Jay's like that. So she had my back.
Mm-hmm.
And then my ex-girlfriend started crying and then left. So,
not the best story.
No.
What about people in the audience, the people that are listening, you should send in send us an email at bros.anne.podcast@gmail.com and let us know some embarrassing story where you maybe experienced, the dating situation at a bar. Or
Yeah. You can use a fake name if you want to.
Absolutely, and we'll share it on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think of other good bar stories I have.
So I like this is the first time we get to see just the beers that they have, the beer bottles, and it just says beer.
Mm-hmm. I think that's supposed to be kind of like a old Coors label, though.
Is
Like
it?
Coors Original?
Okay, did it say beer on there?
No, but I think...
It's supposed to be like similar style?
You know what I'm noticing here is like they each have like a beer bottle in front of them, but Crystal has like 4 pink squirrels.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them is finished, and the other ones are like various...
Yep. Various amounts left, yeah.
Yeah, almost like finish a drink before you order another one, lady. Like, and also the bartender should be cleaning up after you.
Right, Jay. But when you make a TV show, you want to give visual aids to help the audience understand.
They can just have puke all over her shooting shirt. That would
you can't. She can't just wear a sign that says "I'm drunk."
no. She's starting to behave drunk. Her eyes get that kind of that lazy look.
Mm-hmm.
Although I've kind of noticed that like when somebody gets really drunk, they're trying to like see straight, so their eyes get even wider. But you can just tell that there's like
nothing there.
Yeah, they're
behind them.
Yeah, they're not operating
on full. On all cylinders.
Yeah.
Do you have any stories like that where you may not want to mention those stories, but maybe you had a one too many?
I'm sure there has been times I had one too many. Luckily, nothing that's like been super embarrassing since my mid-20s.
Right.
Drinking changes the older you get.
Sure. Yeah, like I don't drink anymore.
You didn't, but when you did, what was your? Do you have a good story? I have a story about you.
No, you don't have any story.
I had a Rob Raymond told me a story about you.
That's not
You want
appropriate for the podcast.
No,
it's not appropriate. There are certain things. There's a certain there's a certain mystique that I have, and I think we want to keep that mystique.
This is like young Zeke though. You can't answer for that guy.
Okay, I'll give you a different story.
Okay.
Just to appease you.
Okay.
One time I had 1 or 10 too many.
Mm-hmm.
And it was after a show. One of the bands I was in played a show, and I was living at a farm. And we were hanging out with another band from the cities.
Oh, I know the story.
And I don't know, just from the pictures, I think at that particular time, I had cut my... I usually just wear a beard, but I had cut my facial hair into like a handlebar mustache.
Yeah, like a Fu Manchu almost.
Uh-huh. And I was so drunk that I just kept yelling. I kept yelling the name Jared, just for no reason, just being obnoxious. I guess that's one thing that happens if I have 1 or 10 too many.
Those pictures are funny. You look homicidal in one of them.
Jared. The next morning after that, I woke up after that band had left. They left a note that said, hey, thanks. I hope everyone has a good time. Thanks for letting us stay. And then afterwards, they signed it just Jared in huge letters and exclamation points.
I didn't know that. Did you keep the note?
I don't think so.
No. I hang on to things like that.
I hang on to it in my heart.
Oh. I actually hang on to it physically because it's worth the effort.
Whoa. Shots fired.
No, they used to leave notes. We'd get notes all the time when I worked at the coffee house.
Mm-hmm.
Either like employees would write them to each other, just fun stuff, or like people would leave comments that were always kind of funny.
Yeah.
So I keep that's like the one thing I still have is like a big box of all that stuff.
Anything for me?
Anything from you? I don't think so. I don't think you ever left a comment. You're always like very skittish around people, so it's kind of hard to.
I am. I'm afraid of them.
What are you afraid they're gonna do?
Well, think of it like this: when you're around like a herd of buffalo,
Because I'm native, I'm supposed to imagine when I'm around a herd of buffalo.
Okay, fine. You're around a herd of cattle or animals. You try to watch where you walk. You don't want to get stepped on. A herd of horses. You don't want to have the horse step on your foot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the same way with humans. I don't want to get in their way.
Okay.
We're having a staring contest right now.
Yeah. No, but people are always curious about you. Like when we work on stuff, like when we shot Y-Fight,
Mm-hmm.
you were still living in Aberdeen, but we shot Y-Fight, and everybody kind of went down to the bar afterwards,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's like, "Where's Zeke? We want to talk to Zeke. We want to get to know Zeke more." And like Zeke doesn't drink.
Zeke didn't drink.
Yep.
Zeke doesn't drink.
Yep.
Right. Because Zeke's a good boy.
Well, just because you have a drink doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Just because. Okay. All right. Straight edge.
You're straight edge now.
Mm-hmm. Should see my straight edge tattoos.
Aren't you supposed to have the X's on the hands?
Oh, is that what
That's what that means.
I have let myself? I have. You fooled me. So let's wrap up here. We finished the episode. Here's to good friends. It was a very simplistic episode. On the one hand, at home, Darlene she finished her book report, but it turned out that it was snowing and that she wouldn't actually have to go to school the next day. And that's really all that happened at home. And then at the bar, Crystal got drunk,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess maybe she felt a little bit better. And the other thing was Booker and Jackie. I guess Jackie got to the point where Booker was ready to invite her home, and she said, basically no, screw off.
Mm-hmm. They play a little game of cat and mouse going on.
Mm-hmm. So what would you? Any final thoughts on this episode?
No, I don't have any. I mean,
Did you like it? How would you rate this? What would you rate it?
it's just this is one like the standard episode, probably like a 6
Mm-hmm.
out of 10. I think it's a situation most people can relate to. I mean, if you're any character in the show, snow days were awesome as a kid.
Right.
Everybody's gone through a breakup and felt horrible, and sometimes just going out to drink with your friends makes you feel better,
Sure.
or at least makes you forget for a while.
Where did they mention the word corn in this episode?
Geez, I don't know, but it's either shown or mentioned.
Shown or mentioned?
Yeah.
All right, that's
And I mean,
convenient.
so you're on the lookout for corn now,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't notice it at all.
I guess I wasn't really on the lookout, but I did think about it.
Mm.
One thing I noticed that we didn't talk about is that when Dan and DJ and Becky and Darlene were watching the football game, DJ was getting a knee ride
Mm-hmm.
from Dan. Did you ever get knee rides as a kid?
I can't recall. I'm sure I did.
Yeah,
like just
or-
getting bounced on the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would, when I was young, my dad would put us on his knee, and then he played. Well, it was two different things. We would pretend we'd hum the William Tell Overture. Then like the thing from is it Zorro? Or is it the Lone Ranger? Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. That's what you're talking about?
Yeah, the William Tell Overture. And he then after we got our knee rides, our little, he'd bounce us underneath. Then he'd let us run around the house while he played accordion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he'd play the William Tell Overture on the accordion.
My dad knows how to play accordion, too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You think they're related?
Probably not. No.
I mean, they could be.
They could be. But, what would be the relationship?
The accordion.
Well, but how are they related? Like cousins?
Oh, you mean like relative? No, I meant just like, are they related? Like the accordions, are they related?
Are the accordions related?
Yeah.
Like, are they brothers, cousins?
Yeah.
You think that's how it works?
Maybe.
No, not really. They're all manufactured. I mean, they might be the same brand.
I don't know what the word manufactured means, but it sounds like a dirty word.
Well, how do you think other accordions are created?
Through accordion sex?
Sex isn't a dirty word?
As long as it's clinical and if we talk about it in a clinical way, it's not dirty.
Okay. So you tell me how two accordions have sex.
Look, just because sex is a thing that you save for accordion marriage. And it's not something... I guess I didn't take that class. But just because I don't know doesn't mean it isn't so.
Actually, yeah. That's exactly what it means. So you think that there's like boy and girl accordions that meet and get married?
It could be asexual.
It could be asexual.
They just reproduce by separating the keys. You know, you get this keys from key C on down, and then C on up, or D on up.
So some like weird sort of... I don't even know how it would work, Zeke.
It's how single-celled organisms reproduce.
I mean, like, for one, you'd have to get two in the same room at least.
No, I've said asexual.
Okay. So...
Where it just splits.
Has your dad's accordion had other accordions?
No, but do you know people that have gone their whole life and not gotten married and reproduced?
I do know people like that, yeah.
All right, then. So just because my dad's accordion didn't reproduce doesn't mean that they can't.
You're right. You're right.
This is flawless logic.
If anybody else wants to chime in on Facebook or Gmail or, just let us know.
I dare you.
Zeke is issuing a challenge.
Yes, I challenge you.
Someone prove to him that accordions don't have accordion sex.
I didn't say accordion sex. I said that they reproduce.
You said accordion sex earlier.
Well, I was guessing. I mean, they could just be manufactured.
Whoa. Now, that's a dirty word.
It is a dirty word, but sometimes... Let's move on.
Yeah, I think the accordion sex bit is, runs course.
Right. It has been compressed. We've stretched it for all it's worth.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. So you said you rate this 6 out of 10 this episode?
How about you?
I suppose, 6 out of 10 makes sense. It's good, but not great. But I can't really find a lot of fault with it. It's just a very simplistic episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The next one I'm actually looking forward to.
Ooh, give us a little preview.
It is Dan's birthday episode.
Ooh, I like birthdays.
Mm-hmm. And they go to the Lobo again.
Whoa.
For his...
Got to reuse that set.
Yep. They used the Lobo a lot those first couple seasons. But anyway, Dan almost gets into a fight. Wow. A fist fight. And you're going to recognize some actors.
All right. Well, I'm excited for that.
There's not anybody big, but you'll probably recognize them.
All right. Well, stay tuned for amazing actors that we're all going to recognize, and for me to be wowed. So I guess that wraps it up. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, that should be it. Till next time.
Have fun, and remember to give us a like on Facebook, follow us on SoundCloud, check us out on iTunes, and keep those accordions safe. Keep those closed and latched so they're not out doing things they shouldn't be doing.
Yep. Keep your accordion safe.
All right. Have a good week.
Have a good week.
Peace.